What's up, guys, and welcome to the long-awaited third episode of the AWSM Games Podcast. I am your host, Alex Wolf, joined here by my good friend, Steven Morrow.
Hello.
So, sorry for the long delay. Both of us kind of had some massive life-changing things happen all of a sudden. So, kind of had to put it on postpone. Figured, we're only 2 episodes in. We can pause things and won't throw anyone off. Like, oh my god, where are you? Blah, 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 blah. So, if you are one of those people, sorry. But we're back, hopefully, regularly now. So, let's see how this goes. So, Steven, how you been, buddy?
It's been good.
Yeah?
Just got done moving. That's
yeah,
exciting.
that is. That's awesome.
And kind of been suffering from withdrawals. Haven't played my PS4 in 2 days. So that's kind of awful.
Okay, yeah.
So pray for me, please. But yeah, it's been exciting.
So, well, before you took that massive pause, what were you playing? Anything? I know you were getting some trophies in Conan Exiles, which
so
threw me off. But
I have a problem. When I get addicted to something, I go like hardcore.
Yeah.
And I have an addiction for trophies.
Oh, most certainly.
But also, I have an addiction for men. Mostly naked men. And then also enslaving others.
Oh my god.
And you can enjoy all of those things in Conan Exiles.
So it's just like, oh god, this is too much power for one man.
Literally, right when you start, there's literally a naked man crucified, and that's how you customize your character. So you have like this transforming naked man who's just turning into basically like male power fantasies personified.
Yeah.
I mean, there's females too, but
yeah, there's like, oh, who wants that,
I mean, they're great, but it's rare to see a naked man in a game.
Oh yeah, it's true. Definitely not as.
There's a lot of naked women out there, but we need more naked men. So
Naked Men 2019, guys.
No, in all seriousness, though, I heard that Conan Exiles and the Surge were going to be free on PlayStation Plus, and I wasn't really too excited for either of them. I was still gonna try them, but I wasn't really
expecting a whole lot.
Yeah, and I wasn't making it a priority. And I just assumed that Conan was. I didn't really know much about it, but I was just assuming it was you just go through little preset levels and just hack and slash, and then I'm a burly man.
Big burly man.
Yeah, I just thought it was
with long flowing locks.
Yeah, very long flowing locks.
Right.
Actually, part of the game. Or you can have no hair.
Oh, okay.
Which would be more accurate for my avatar, but naturally I had some weird mohawk dreads going.
I mean, that's what create a character kind of deals are for. It's because you want so you can be that thing you can't do in real life. So
yeah, well, I always
embrace it.
Yeah. But anyway, so a friend of mine was talking about Conan and how much fun he was having with it, and I'm like, what's it even like? Because it just sounded like some stupid little thing. But he was like, no, I'm building a civilization. And I'm like, what? He's like, I traveled across the desert and I started building a civilization. I'm like, what is this? And he's like, it's like an online MMO where you not only survive, but you literally build cities and you enslave other people, and it's really involved. There's giant boss fights and dungeons and stuff, and I'm like, holy shit, this is a lot more intense than I thought it would be. So he invited me to play with him online once, and it was pretty awesome. And then I got addicted, and then I found out that there was an exploit where if you create your own server, you can do different admin options and basically get all of the trophies in 10 minutes. So I have almost all the trophies. I just need one for crushing somebody under your obese weight, which I haven't done that yet because I haven't
large.
Well, I haven't found. You have to be on a server where you can kill other people, and we were playing on peaceful servers. But then on my own private server, I was just by myself.
Yeah.
So I couldn't do that yet, but soon I will crush somebody under my large body. This is the ultimate power fantasy, I guess.
Good lord. Yeah, that's what every person needs. I just want to be able to sit on someone.
I just want to be large and
just be able to encompass someone's body. I'm sure the way.
I'm sure there are some people into it. But
there always is. There's
always that one guy.
There's always that one person just why the hell?
Yeah, I can make this work.
You know what? I'm into that. That sounds like a thing I'd be interested in. How do I sign up?
Conan Exiles. That's how you sign it.
There you go.
But that's a pretty fun game.
That's
I
good.
really like it.
Tell you what, man. So as you know, probably about almost a year ago, got really heavy into some Splatoon.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So we were just kind of Rachel and I and her sister just kind of dabbled into it one night. Like, why not? And, we hopped on. It just happened to be a Splatfest was starting, but then a week within that,
That's always how it happens.
And I'm like,
it just
oh,
happens to be a
God.
big thing.
Tell you what, this Splatfest. So last night it started, and we went hard. We played 4 or 5 hours. We were in there for quite a while. Like, we went to bed at maybe 1 in the morning.
Oh no.
And it was like I woke up this morning like I gotta get more in. So for all you guys listening or watching at home, get Splatoon. Well, buy a Switch.
Right
get
now.
Splatoon like
Right
immediately. Download it if you need to. I don't care. Physical, digital. I don't care your medium. Just do it. Join a Splatfest. Team Hair. Fuck them tortoises.
Hold on.
Fuck them
When
all.
you said hair,
Like a rabbit. Like a pink rabbit season.
I'm like hair and turtles.
Team Pink all the way. Alright? Team Pink for life in Splatoon. Any other team doesn't matter. Like, I don't care if you win or lose, but when you're on Team Pink, you make sure you win. Anyway, and you get on there and you join. It ends tomorrow at 6 p.m. It is worldwide, and it's huge, so get on there. Nintendo, I'm promoting you. Give me money, something. Give me some kind of representation. Send me some merch.
Wait, hold on.
I'll rep it. I don't know. What?
So you were playing with Rachel,
Uh-huh.
and you guys did not choose the turtle.
We did not choose a turtle.
It was pink.
It was pink, dude.
But
Team Pink. Would you not just hear?
I know, but turtles.
Screw those turtles.
I'm just thinking of the turtle from God of War.
Oh.
that's a very large turtle.
That is a very large
to have
turtle.
to do that too.
Alright. Anyway, so without further ado, we'll get into the show. So we're going to change things up about how we used to. It used to be very much news and kind of go through the bullet list, just because of time and constraints and everything like that, and, quality of life. We decided we're going to go with, we'll find a topic, whether it be something that just happened in the industry, or like some games coming out and we want to give a huge conversation about it, or just something that's, been happening for a while, and, why not? Let's explore it. Let's really discuss this, what's going on. We're going to do that. Still stick to like 45 minutes to an hour kind of deal, just to see how things play out and go from there. So, this week, we're going to cover VR. Next gen is coming. More specifically, next gen's coming. It's right around the corner. You've got Google Stadia announced. You got Xbox, the Xbone, launching their all-digital console, and then, I'd be hard-pressed to say that they're not going to release something, or at least announce something at E3 this year. So, there's rumors there's still
Especially
two consoles.
They're like the only ones
pretty much
doing
verbally
it.
saying like, hey, we're doing this
large
thing.
entities.
Yeah, and it's like every month they announce a new thing, like, oh, hey, this is coming. They're pretty much just saying there's going to be something, chances are, next year, I would expect. Going into that, so, and then you've got Nintendo releasing the Labo VR kit. Oculus has their wireless headset, like all wireless VR headset coming out. People have tested it with Beat Saber, and it's amazing. So that's coming. Vive, HTC over there doing their streaming streaming or I don't know, like subscription service.
That was news to me when you mentioned that.
Yeah,
I had no idea.
I literally was just kind of on the internet, like, what's going on in the world of VR? Let's kind of double down and see what's going on. And I look at Vive to see what they're doing, because all I really heard about them that made any kind of real headlines for a while was that their prices kept dropping because they were the most expensive on the market. I mean, they still are, but not by a huge margin as much as they were. I believe when it launched it was $800. So now I think you get it. Yeah, it's dropped at least $200, I believe.
You need like $2,000 to get a PC.
Yeah, and like get the rig and then all that. It's ridiculous. But now they've got the subscription service, much like Game Pass, if I read correctly. Let me know if I'm wrong. Make a note in the comments or something. But I was like, that's huge. Why was this not like newsworthy stuff? Like, that's insane. Especially for anyone who's like very much into VR, especially people on PC, because they probably already have Steam and all those other things set up, so they have a massive backlog to begin with. So
Vive has some cool little things too.
Oh yeah, I mean it's definitely you get what you pay for with that. I mean, yes, it's crazy expensive, but you get great display, great tracking. It's top tier for sure. Yeah. They're definitely the top of what they do. They're just not the most successful. Just with it only being on PC, and you have to have a pretty good rig to run it, and then the headset itself is costly.
Yeah.
But yeah, so without further ado, I mean, let's just kind of look at this. So VR, it's been around for about 2 years. It launched 2016. Really kind of steadily kept in. It wasn't like most video game trends where you had motion controls and then 3D. VR was just something a lot of people thought was going to be a fad, and here we are, 2019, it's still going strong. It's very much a part of the everyday console video game conversation. Like I mentioned before, next gen's right around the corner. So where does VR fit into that? First, what do you think? I mean, first things first. I mean, Sony's State of Play, first one they ever did, and that was extremely
almost entirely VR.
Yeah, extremely.
Which was surprising. Like everyone was like, like I don't think anybody predicted that it was going to be VR focused State of Play. I mean, you could have guessed that they were going to talk about VR, but for it to be mostly like VR announcements or VR trailers and things like that, I think there was I can't even remember the non-VR things that they talked about, other than like things like Mortal Kombat, and like there were like pre-existing things like Concrete Genie, but they announced that there's a VR mode. That's just wild to me.
What was the other one? Open world procedurally generated space game. I can't think of the name all of a sudden.
No Man's Sky.
Yes, God. I just blanked all of a sudden. But yeah, I mean, No Man's Sky giving a VR mode, like a game that huge, and I mean, good for them to come along.
When No Man's Sky was announced, people were like VR mode, VR mode, VR mode, and now, I mean, let's talk about just for a split second. I think we should give Hello Games some praise.
Yeah.
That game, they promised a very specific kind of game, and they didn't necessarily release the game with that. However, every single update for that game has been free. They have added not just the promised features, but more, and they're announcing VR. Like, that's just phenomenal.
Yeah, I mean, good for them. Transparency was very key for them, and they held true. They recognized what they did, and they fixed it, and they've continued to go above and beyond. So, yeah. Yeah,
I think that's pretty amazing. And, like, that game, it's almost like an entirely different game. Or it's like looking through a storyboard for a game and then like seeing the actual game. It's like that dramatic of a difference in terms of like the minute-to-minute gameplay. Because like not only does the game it got a visual overhaul, but they've added a more robust like online features. They've expanded like the underwater stuff, and now they're adding VR, which is like, oh my god, pretty cool.
Yeah, it's awesome. I mean, when No Man's Sky was announced, I'm like, oh, hey, that's cool. Wasn't my kind of game, but it was announced and it sounded cool. So, and seeing especially the next DLC or update that happened a few months back, that really got me like, that got my attention. Like, that sounds awesome. I'm tempted. Only reason I haven't pulled the trigger is just because I have a ton of other games I should be playing, taking care of right now. And the time that game will suck in. Yeah. So it's just like, I can't commit, but damn, does it look amazing.
So when VR comes out for that, I'm gonna live in No Man's Sky.
Just live on a planet.
I'm gonna sleep with the VR headset on.
Okay.
I've done that before, so I found out it's safe, well, relatively. It's just a little bit disorienting because you wake up and then there's, you feel the couch underneath you, but you wake up and you're like outside. At least I fell asleep on the main menu of Bound because I thought it was really peaceful. Like, you could hear the ocean in the distance, and there's like birds, and you look up and there's trees. So I was literally just like laying on the ground and looking up at the trees, and I fell asleep.
Good lord.
But anyways, I think that the fact that their first State of Play, to go back to the original question, I feel like the fact that their first State of Play was so VR focused is just completely like hammering the idea that VR is important to PlayStation, and they're not doing the same thing that they did as far as like motion controls, like when the Move was first a thing, or like the iToy and things like that. They're not even treating this like the Vita.
It's getting a more like consistent.
The Vita had an amazing lineup, like the first.
Its launch.
At launch, like immediately, but also like the first year that it was out, it was like boom, boom, boom. Here's all these awesome things, but then it just kind of stopped.
Yeah.
And it was like all third party, but VR is getting first party and third party support. It's getting exclusives, which is amazing, and like big names. Like the fact that Iron Man is in there, that's big. PlayStation VR exclusive, and that's Iron Man.
And the previews for that so far are going extremely well for people who've had a chance to play it. Like, I was expecting, like, this is going to be awful. After what Iron Man and Iron Man 2 were in the PS3, I'm like, it'll be a cool experience,
well, also,
not a
like,
great game.
That's what I thought, too. Like, is this just going to be, like, an experience type thing? And when they did the first trailer at State of Play, it had the scary words, not actual gameplay on the bottom. It looked like it was an on-rails thing. It seemed kind of lackluster. But reading more into it.
And a cat, ladies and gentlemen, and she is extremely needy and needs all the attention. So if you hear any meowing or just random jingles, it's her. Don't worry.
But like reading more about it and stuff, it's like free roam.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can freely fly and stuff. And like that blew my mind because I looked at it and I was like, this has to be on rails.
Right.
But it's actually like being completely controlled. I'm like, oh my god.
Right.
It's an original story inspired by the comic books.
Yep.
It's just it sounds like it's getting the treatment that it needs.
Oh yeah.
So fingers crossed that'll be awesome.
Yeah.
But either way, the fact that these things are happening, I think it just shows how important VR is to PlayStation in the long run.
Mm-hmm.
So it's something that they're really going into. It's something that they're investing a lot of time and resources into. And like since the state of play, I feel like, especially recently, like every week there's been an awesome VR game that's come out.
Oh yeah. Or at least some announcement of one coming.
Yeah. But I mean, like just recently we had Falcon Age.
Yep.
That's freaking awesome. I've heard nothing but great things about that. I still need to play it, but holy shit, because the aforementioned movie, and I gotta get that all set up. So Falcon Age, that's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Freaking Ghost Giant came out, and that's getting amazing reviews.
Oh yeah.
They're saying it's heartwarming, that it's like charming and beautiful, and it's sitting at like an 8 point something, I think, on Metacritic.
Wow.
Which is pretty good. And then coming up here literally on Tuesday, I don't know when this is going to go live.
Hopefully, I imagine Monday.
Okay, so either tomorrow or it's out now. Jupiter and Mars.
Yeah.
It sounds totally flamboyantly homosexual, but I love it. Sparkly dolphins in underwater space-looking things. That's cool. And that's made by a guy who was mentored by the guy who did Tetris Effect, Rez, Lumines. So like that kind of thing.
Oh yeah.
So that's just awesome. And then right after that, after Jupiter and Mars, Blood and Truth.
Yeah.
Which was also in State of Play, and that looks
awesome.
Amazing. That looks like Uncharted VR. That's what it looks like. Like literally, they had the whole airplane scene and everything from Uncharted 3. Uncharted VR, Blood and Truth, boom. And that's going to be like an 8-hour campaign.
Oh yeah.
Or I feel like I read that somewhere. It's a full story-driven thing, like full-length game, like a game. So that's cool.
Yeah, I'm excited for Trover Saves the Universe. I am.
Oh, when does that come out?
End of. It's summer.
Look at this up now.
Yeah, look it up. Let's get this going. But yeah, dropping change, man.
I'm tipping you.
Oh, okay. Well,
thank you for having me on the show.
Oh, of course, anytime.
All right, hold on. Trover saves.
Part of me wants to say it's this month, but I know that's wrong.
I feel
like it has to be.
I feel like it's soon.
Yeah, I want to say May.
May 31st. Boom.
Boom. Okay.
Right at the end of May.
Okay, but I say because I keep
awesome.
thinking April 26th, but that day's gone.
Yeah, and that game looks cool because it's full length game from the people from some of the people involved with Rick and Morty.
Yeah, well, some of the people, it's the creator, Justin Roiland. Like,
Jesus.
Yeah, so anyway, what's cool about he ad-libbed the whole script. Trover, he ad-libbed the whole thing. He literally he ad-libbed every scenario possible in that game. And the thing is, for me, that game, I didn't realize that you didn't have to play it in VR because every other game he's done has been VR related. So
it's got the like free roaming thing, but then the perspective is through the eyes of the controller.
But you can play it without it, and I was like, oh wow.
That's why the Falcon Age is too.
Yeah, but I've heard Falcon Age without the VR is not.
Yeah, not great. The same because you can't fist bump the Falcon.
You can't fist bump the Falcon.
Which is confirmed. You can fist bump a Falcon.
The gameplay itself is pretty stale just because of it doesn't handle well gameplay wise. It's very much built for VR.
Yeah, because like they have the inventory is literally like you look and you grab things.
Yeah,
and it's very tactile.
Playing it like if you play it as a regular game, it's not great. Definitely something you need to do in VR. Otherwise, I would pass on it. But
Trover looks awesome.
Trover, I'm excited. Like I want to play that in VR. I don't have to play it in VR, but I will play it in VR.
But that's another thing where like Accounting Plus and the virtual reality Rick and Morty VR thing, those were kind of more experiential and shorter experience. But Trover is going to be another like full-fledged campaign type thing where you go through and it tells us a larger story, and I think that's really cool. I didn't know about the ad-lib thing. That's really
no, I was reading an interview. It was on the PlayStation blog a few weeks back, and I was like, wow. But like, not surprised at all. But it's really cool.
That's really awesome.
So another thing with PlayStation with their VR. So recently they announced PlayStation 5 specs. Or next gen specs.
Yeah, what was it? Wired did the interview with Mark Cerny.
Yeah.
which kudos to them. That's an awesome exclusive article.
I mean, they're huge. I mean, they're the only. I literally got on there. I didn't realize you had to have a subscription to read their articles. So you get like three. You get 3 free ones or 4 free ones. And I had like it told me like, hey, you have 3 remaining free articles left. After that, you have to start paying, much like the Wall Street Journal. And I was like, well, I'm glad I chose this.
Yeah,
one.
that was a good one to
yeah.
choose. But like, that's pretty amazing because interestingly enough, I think this is the first time that we're formally hearing from PlayStation information about specs and compatibility and things like that with PlayStation 5. And it was just kind of in an interview posted on a news website. And I think that that's interesting too because I think that kind of plays into how PlayStation is handling announcements and media and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
With them dropping out of attending E3 in the same way that they did in the past, with like the whole like conference show thing, and with them doing like the state of play and stuff, I feel like they're going to be doing more of like announcing things through other media outlets and letting more of like the journalists and the gamers kind of control the narrative, which I think is pretty cool. But like for them to basically formally announce PlayStation 5 and the specs, or at least hint towards specs, and the inner workings of it in an interview without like having a controlled space to do it necessarily, I think that's interesting.
Well, I mean, the big point for me here is, so they were asked about VR, obviously. Mm-hmm. After watching the State of Play, that's the big question, is like how much, like what is PlayStation's thing this next generation? With, Xbox and Google, the now announced Google Stadia, very much focusing on cloud gaming. So what's PlayStation's niche? And, with the State of Play, kind of solidified, like, oh, I guess they're just going to double down in VR. Is that, is that all? But, so, I mean, they're very much, it seems like after what that interview was, they're sticking to same streak. Like, it's a box, it's going to be upgraded, like, it's going to very much be a huge gap between PlayStation 4 Pro and this next-gen console. So don't think it's just another simple upgrade. But there are other things they haven't announced yet. They said that in the interview. But Cerny also, he's asked about VR. And they asked what it is, so what the compatibility is. So the current PlayStation VR model will work handily with the new console, which is great.
Makes me excited.
Yeah,
that makes me very excited.
I didn't expect them to. I didn't expect them to say, "Oh, it won't work." I didn't expect them to not have compatibility because not long ago, also Sony licensed their patent for this current VR model to Lenovo, the laptop, the computer people, Lenovo. Yeah. So for them to just say, "Oh, we'll license this to you, but we're gonna upgrade our own thing," would just be. For me, it's like, well, yeah, of course you're going to stick with the same model. That'd be backwards. Especially with how new VR is and how many people are just now starting to adopt to it. I mean, they just crossed 3 million, 4 million ships 2 months ago. So, I mean, it was a huge number, but they made a big deal out of it. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, for them to just say, oh, we're going to announce a new one, that just seemed off. Like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Like, backwards compatibility is a big thing people have been hammering for you. Like, this is the opportunity. Don't make me go buy another $300 peripheral when the one I have now is just fine. But for them, he said VR is still a focus. There are some inner workings. There's no new model, no new next generation VR headset, and they put yet in the interview. But what I kind of pilled around online to see if they had just kind of see there's a new patent filing for a wireless headset. So which isn't out of the ordinary. This brings me to my next topic here with Oculus. The Oculus Quest. Their all-wireless headset coming out relatively soon. I believe this summer is the window they have right now. I don't think they have a strict date. But it's still got a lot of power into it, great resolution, and it has a 4,000 square foot of safe area tracking. And this is all wireless. You don't need 4,000 square. Yeah, so it's just a headset and 2 controllers, and the games are in there. That's it, complete wireless. People were trying it out with, I believe, at PAX, if not GDC, one of the two. But they were trying out Beat Saber, and people were loving it. Like, this is crazy. Like, people were asking, like, well, I remember hearing Greg Miller on the Kind of Funny Games Daily podcast talking about how he tried it, and he was just, like, amazed by how well it worked. It looked fine. It didn't lose anything quality-wise. It was just kind of mind-blowing how that's kind of there. So it seems like wireless is, the next step for VR, with hardware at least.
Interestingly, I feel like when VR was first announced and everything, people were speculating what it's going to be like and stuff. Mm-hmm. People were talking about wires versus wireless and talking about the necessity of the wire for latency issues. Mm-hmm. And the fact that, like, already it's been 2 years and we already have like wireless VR headsets with seemingly, according to people who have tried it, no latency issues. At least in their experience, that's pretty wild because that seemed like something that was going to be like morbidly expensive.
Yeah.
And the fact that that's being talked about as like a consumer friendly thing. And also, I want to touch back on what you said earlier. I'm so happy that current model and I guess previous model, like they have two models of the PlayStation VR, but that those models work on the PlayStation 5. That's cool because that means that people can feel comfortable investing in VR now, which that's I think an important move because people may have been holding off and
I was one of those people. Yeah, it's good for me to know. I only had my VR. I've had it since December, so to know like okay, I'm fine. I don't have to go and rush out for this new model within like a year or two. That's nice to know. Like okay, cool. I can comfortably invest into this product here and play it and enjoy it and be okay.
And like also to touch on another thing that they spoke about, it's sort of separate from VR, but I guess it also applies to VR games. They mentioned that PlayStation 4 games will be compatible with PlayStation 5, so that's awesome too. So all of the money that I'm investing in PlayStation 4 games now, all of the time that I'm sinking in is not going to be for naught when PlayStation 5 comes out. So things like Trover Saves the Universe, presumably will work on PlayStation 5. That's awesome. Yeah. So if you want to play Jupiter and Mars, you can do that now, and you'll be able to play it on PlayStation 5, presumably. So that's awesome. So I think that's cool because it kind of makes people feel comfortable investing in that technology, investing in these products, and then being able to carry them over. So that's awesome. And I'm very excited about wireless VR because people do have cats. And cats like wires, and wires plus cats equals VR headsets that don't work. Yeah. So now having wireless VR headsets is, I think they should just label it as cat-friendly VR headset. But yeah, I think that's really awesome.
Oh yeah, I would love a wireless VR headset, which means I can play Beat Saber, any active VR game, or Rachel can play any active VR game. And we don't have to worry about one stomping on the cat or the cat eating a wire and then all of a sudden have to replace it, blah, 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 blah. That would be nice. You hear her scurrying around as she's attacking everything.
Attacks a rubber band. Ugh. Well, I don't know if they can hear it. You changed the volume levels.
I did. I modified things. So the loud thumping people were complaining about with the recording. Yes, I'm very hesitant to do it now. But I think I've solved the issue. I think I've taken care of it. So we're good to go. If not, I'm sure someone will let me know if there's a huge issue with it. Please do, because I do want this to be... I want to grow this. I'd rather not say like, oh, no, screw it, guys. You're getting the thumps. All the loud thumps in the bass. Hope your speakers blow out. I don't want to be that guy. No. Anyway.
We don't want to blow up speakers.
Exactly. We don't want to blow up speakers. We want you to listen. We want your speakers to work so you can hear us talk.
Yeah.
So, you mentioned people investing in the products. I want to talk to you about Nintendo. So, Labo VR Kit just launched. It's getting pretty well reception right now. Do you think if they sell enough of these Labo kits, will Nintendo backtrack on what they said about how VR is not a focus for them and start really looking into it?
I don't know, but I think it's interesting that they're doing like little VR things for the Labo. From my understanding, now I haven't gotten to play it myself. I've heard great things about the VR experiences. People say that it works and it's fun. Are they now? Just so that I can have more information, are they? And so that they can have more information. Are they like self-contained things? Like each kit is its own like game essentially, and you need that toy in order to do that experience.
So with the Labo,
like, you get the toy or you make the toy, and that's the game. And then the other VR kits are like their own little games.
Well, as far as I know, there's just one VR kit. With Labo's with Labo's been in the past.
Is it the Blaster? I thought there was another one. There's like Blaster, Sniper, and then.
VR is a headset that's compatible with a couple different games. The games has to have a VR mode.
Yeah.
It's just like the headset for PlayStation.
Yeah, I think there's only one. I think there's only one VR kit. I think there will be more, it'll say virtual reality kit, but like you said, there's the blaster kit. I'm not sure if there's other ones, but there are other.
So they're like attachments to the headset?
So essentially what you do when you buy this the blaster VR kit, you have the VR headset in there, but you take the cardboard and you mold it into the shape that they have instructed for you, and then you can use that VR kit in certain games. And so far, I don't think there's like any dedicated VR games, but there's VR modes and other titles. So I believe there's one in Super Mario Odyssey. There's not a whole lot to these. They're very much more like, it's very much like the those little VR kits you could buy at the store for like $30 and things
like
of that nature.
ones?
Yeah, so things of that nature. There's nothing super in depth, but it works and it looks great. Breath of the Wild is another one. So yeah, and of course, there's going to look into that. The VR is great. So what I would think is, I mean, if it's getting so well received, will we see more titles receive VR updates where they have little niche things? And if they continue to be well received, will they eventually start making dedicated VR games and partnering with other people? And will we see more of that? Because I mean,
I'd love to.
Yeah.
I think that would be a good decision if it's something that catches on.
Mm-hmm.
Nintendo hasn't always gone with what makes the most financial sense
all the
time. But I mean, naturally, the natural assumption would be if people like this thing, release more things that support the thing, and then charge money for it, and then you make money.
Yeah.
But it's also Nintendo.
It's very much.
I do know. I mean, I would love to see more compatibility. I would love to see a more like I guess involved VR unit from Nintendo. I feel like they would have a lot of creative ideas in terms of what a VR headset can be. I mean, also the first one that they released is made of cardboard.
Yes.
So that's pretty cool. Not necessarily to say that cardboard hasn't been done before in VR, but that's still really cool.
Mm-hmm.
I remember this was, I think, a while ago, before the Switch was even announced. I believe there was some kind of like a patent or something that Nintendo did for a sort of like multi-sensory camera that goes on your ceiling, and it like tracks your movement and stuff. And a lot of speculation around that time was that it would be something for VR, which is interesting because like VR has been in the scope of Nintendo and PlayStation for a while, and Microsoft. I mean, I guess every big tech company.
Yeah.
But the fact that they were thinking about that and making these patents for these devices and stuff, I think it's safe to say that they're going to experiment at least with different types of VR experiences and hopefully even devices. I think.
Yeah.
In going into the future, I'm really curious to see how Nintendo is going to approach it, because I feel like with everything that Nintendo does, it's never the way that you think they would do it.
Oh God,
like,
yeah.
It's always like this weird thing, and sometimes that works against them, but oftentimes it's like their shining thing. So I'd love to see a dedicated like all hands on deck VR unit from Nintendo. Whether they're going to do it or not, no idea. I do know, like, interestingly, when like the Labo was first announced and everything, and it released, retailers had like a shit ton of Labo kits and stuff. So much that we couldn't like sell them fast enough, and so like there were just a lot. And now that the VR unit is out, they like sent a smaller amount, and now like a lot of people want the VR thing.
Yeah.
And now it's harder to get, and that demand, whether it's fabricated because of the limited supply of items, or if it's like a legitimate interest in VR, I think it'll be interesting to see how Nintendo responds to that. But it sounds like critically, it's
doing well.
Yeah, it's doing well. I don't know. I'm curious because Nintendo specifically, I think, just because of the way that they approach things, I'd love to see a more like involved VR headset from them.
Oh yeah.
But in terms of like more experiences for like Labo VR, it makes sense.
Okay.
It makes sense.
Okay. No,
but,
that's fair.
But I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, you're right.
Nintendo doesn't always make sense.
Yeah, they kind of just do whatever the hell they want, and if people are like, hey, we should do this, they're like, well, that's not our focus. We don't care. We're gonna do this thing. You're gonna like it, and most of the time we do.
Yeah.
So I mean, kudos to them. All right. So I mean, speaking of people, so we've got PlayStation involved VR. We've got Nintendo dabbling around. We don't know if they're gonna commit and go crazy into it. Xbox.
Yeah. Where are you, Bill Gates?
Yeah. So I mean, it's kind of weird. So I mean, you have the smart glass technology out there with Microsoft now, and there was that big debacle about them selling their using smart glass for the military service. And a lot of people were like, oh no, we want to use it for games. That's we didn't create that for military use. We didn't want to create a new tool.
There's a lot of money in military.
Oh yeah, I mean,
being thrown around all.
So I mean, the question is, will the next generation of Xbox, because we know, like I said before in the episode, that they are very much focusing on cloud services. Will this next generation give them the time and power and the freedom to explore the option of VR? Because in the beginning there was the HoloLens. That's not smart glass. That's Google. It's HoloLens.
Oh,
that's what I'm thinking
okay.
of. Yeah. I've been
I don't
saying
know
it so
why.
wrong.
I didn't even think about it.
Yeah.
Don't they have a thing though that has glass in it? Don't they?
Mention it in the comments below. I honestly
Wasn't it a
can't
thing
remember
with
what
like a Microsoft app or something where it's like, because
Smart-
I think
the
smart glass is
app.
what it's called.
Okay, yeah.
Google Glasses is the
Yeah,
Google augmented
okay.
reality. Jesus,
Okay, God.
what a trip. But yeah, Microsoft does have smart glass. But yeah, HoloLens. I remember they did the demo, the tech demo earlier, or not earlier. Well, I guess it was earlier, but like years ago.
Yeah.
With like Minecraft, and they had like the table, and it was like a combination of VR and augmented reality.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, what happened to that?
Well, they backed out of it. It was I guess it wasn't cost effective, and a lot of people at the time weren't clamoring for it. So they just kind of stopped. And like, oh hey, and
Well, there's definitely interest in that kind of thing now.
yeah, and it also that was around the same time though. I think a year later, that's when you stopped seeing a lot of games coming out from first party developers for Xbox. So it was very much let's get those games that we've talked about first, much like Crackdown. Let's get that Crackdown. Yeah, R.I.P. God. Anyway, their focus was getting that stuff out next, and they realized, hey, we're midway through the console generation. We have a lot of ground to make up to invest in this new peripheral. That's cost, and we have to make sure this stuff works. So it could easily be seen like, oh hey, we know we're not gonna kind of capitalize. Let's get the services out first. Let's kind of win the consumer back, and then start showing the games we're gonna have in the future. And then if that works out, that's when you start looking at the new stuff. And that's what I think they're kind of looking at. At least that's what I would hope. And I feel like if with this new generation coming, they can get their things together, they can start pumping out the first party titles that they talk about with all the purchases of those new first party studios.
They've got to be holding back.
Yeah,
because I feel like there's too much emptiness.
Well,
for
in
them not to
E3,
be
they talked about how a lot of their new studios they purchased last year are going to have a lot to show this year.
Mm-hmm.
So I expect it's going to be a thing. I feel like a lot of that stuff they're going to show us now will have a huge impact on the next generation consoles, and these games will be huge. Some of them, of course, will come out now, I would think. A lot of things will come out within the coming months. But, I mean, where do you think they stand with the VR conversation? Do you see them tackling that in the future, or do you think it's one of those things where they stay away and very much try to make up the ground they lost?
So, I honestly, I don't know, because they've kind of, it seems like they backpedaled on a lot of their VR focus.
Mm-hmm.
But what's interesting, this generation, we've kind of seen Microsoft change what they're all about. I mean, I guess you still have like the online gaming and stuff like that, but to me, Microsoft is less about like the game's console, and maybe this is just me, thinking of what Microsoft means to me. But I feel like they're less about the console, more about their services.
Yes.
And taking like online, not just online gaming, but online services. Thinking of like Xbox Live as a larger umbrella thing, and even like implementing those features in with Nintendo. So like what I think if Microsoft, I keep wanting to say Minecraft, Jesus. If Microsoft, basically the same thing. If Microsoft gets involved with VR, I feel like it could be something that's more service based, kind of like what you were talking about with the Vive like servicing. That's kind of like Game Pass. So I'm imagining something like that, and maybe like I don't even know. I don't know exactly how it would look, but maybe even like having compatibility with something like Oculus or HTC Vive on their system, but offering like Microsoft experiences as like something that you can subscribe to as like an addition to Game Pass or something like that.
Yeah.
But as far as like a specific dedicated device that's exclusive to Microsoft, I don't know, because Microsoft has kind of changed from being an exclusive entity.
Yeah.
Of like this is the place to play. And instead becoming, okay, this is like your gateway to play. where you have all these different options and things like that. So I see Microsoft opening up a little bit more and instead kind of augmenting other experiences on other devices, which makes me very curious about what they're going to do with their next console.
Yeah.
I feel like I said this before, PlayStation 4 and Xbox One and Nintendo Switch, but I'm going to say it again. I feel like going into this generation is the most interesting time to be going into a generation because there's so many possibilities.
Yeah.
And I feel like we're really seeing unique identities for the three main consoles and main companies behind these games. And Microsoft, I think, is the biggest question mark because even more so than Nintendo, specifically because we've seen that transformation towards more service-based.
Yeah.
And I'm curious how that would translate into a VR setting, or even if it does.
Yeah.
If they're even going to focus on it. So I don't know.
Yeah.
But that's I think it's going to be exciting.
Yeah, no, this console generation is definitely a thing because we're at the point right now where it seems like everybody's just kind of going in their own direction to like Phil Spencer and a lot of people talked about how there won't be real console wars or really generations after this because if you look at it now, so Nintendo is very much, they've got the Switch. The Switch is killing it right now. It was the most selling console last year, and it was I think it just had second anniversary. So I mean they're killing it right now with it. They're pumping out quality titles. They're very much listening to their consumer base when it comes to what they want and need per game, and then port the system. People wanted to save transfer data that just rolled out. Here it is. Here you go. Nintendo Switch Online so far is doing pretty well. Not a whole lot to it, but it's doing the job where the games that need to have an online service have an online service.
Well,
it works.
That's another thing that I feel like can be expanded with their partnership with Microsoft.
Oh, definitely. Yes.
Like that's a huge opening that they can just go in, and then both of them will benefit so much.
Yeah. Then you have Xbox, who's very much they are doubling down into cloud streaming. Phil Spencer's talking about how he's been playing, I believe, Crackdown 3 and I think something else, using cloud services, using their Project X Cloud moniker. So using that, that's where they're doubling down. And then PlayStation's very much staying very vanilla, using the whole term, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Let's give these people a box. This is what people want. It works. We'll give them quality games. We'll make the games better. We'll make them more powerful.
Well, also in that interview, though.
Yeah.
I believe in that interview, Mark Cerny said something about how they've been early investors and early innovators with cloud concepts, like with their buying of Gaikai, like 3 years before anyone was thinking about cloud.
Oh yeah.
And like that, I think is going to be interesting too because that could be a thing that maybe they've had something cooking for a while.
Well, they use the streaming services now with PlayStation Now.
Yeah,
so I think
also
PlayStation
that
Now
can't be it.
Well, I think we'll see. I don't think we'll see a new service. I think we will see a better PlayStation Now
And like
because
expanded.
I think they'll revamp their pricing because it makes no damn sense. How you have games that you rent and games that you stream and you buy and this, that, and the other. It's like, well, hold on, which is it? And you don't know until you find the game, and it's like, well, hold on, what am I getting?
Yeah.
And the pricing options for all of it are all over the place. So I think if they were to make a consolidated price, like this is what this is how this works, this is how you do it. I think if they do that, then PlayStation with cloud streaming will be fine. I think with this new console, the console will definitely be powerful enough because a lot of problems were with lagging and how slow it was. And it seems even now that's not a problem anymore. It's just kind of no one cares anymore after how much of a burnout it was in the beginning. Mm-hmm. So I think once they reiterate it and bring it back, we'll see more focus and more attention.
We also didn't really see devices that had the power to justify doing a service like that.
Yeah.
It like relied entirely on people's internet.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean internet at the time. I mean this is like PS3.
Late PS3, early PS4.
It was like I feel like
or
we've
no,
come
I
so
don't
far in such a short amount of time
mm-hmm.
That I think having a device that's kind of built with that in mind from the beginning
mm-hmm.
is going to really help with making that service something that we can justify. What I'd like to see in terms of PlayStation Now is like maybe so you have PlayStation Plus.
Yeah.
Maybe like an upgraded tier of PlayStation Plus for like an extra fee that you can do monthly, and that includes PlayStation Now.
Well, I mean,
like
Microsoft just did a similar thing with Game Pass. They just roped in that monthly Game Pass Xbox Live where it's $15 a month and it just works for the all digital.
I would love
console.
that.
Yeah.
I would love that with PlayStation Plus and things like that. So I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
But the fact that they kind of, I believe in the interview, he just like mentioned it. I don't think
It was in passing.
there was like
yeah, it wasn't a lot of,
no details whatsoever.
It was very much they kept the focus on the console itself.
But knowing him and the way that he says a thing and then he smirks.
Yeah. It's very like, okay, yeah. So next thing, and these are the guys, they're coming out of left field. No one's expecting it to be what it is, but people are excited and they're curious more than anything. Google Stadia. Google has gotten to the video game race. They've announced their quote-unquote platform, their console, where it's very much a service you stream through any Chrome-operated device. It's based off of your internet, and you have different tiers. The pricing, I don't believe, has been announced yet, but it's all, the latency and everything is very much based on your Wi-Fi. It automatically adjusts to how it works. But the big question is, okay, so we know it's cloud streaming. Okay, great. But what else? What else do they have besides that? Google is a company that has their hand in just about everything out there, including VR. They do have investing in the VR. Will we see VR be a thing they tackle early on in their platform lifecycle? Or is it something where they focus on just getting themselves, hit the ground running, get that working first, and then we see the VR side come in?
I mean, I feel like it's Google, okay?
Yeah.
So they're all over the place. Their biggest strength is everybody uses it.
Mm-hmm.
So this would be single-handedly the most accessible and the most in-your-face platform since cell phones.
Yeah.
Or I guess since internet, really.
Yeah.
I think they would have to do VR just because as a platform that's available on everything, I would assume that it would be accessible not just to gamers and users, but to developers. Mm-hmm. And if you have something that's accessible to developers, they're going to try anything and everything.
Right.
So if it's, as long as it's an open platform where people can host their games or their services or experiences or whatever on it, then we'd have to see VR experiences. And since Google can, Chrome runs on a phone, on a laptop, on a PC, anything that can connect to those devices would be compatible with these games. So, probably. Whether it's something that Google specifically does, or whether it's something that they just allow on their platform, I guess that remains to be seen.
Yeah.
Okay. I feel like every time that Google tries to do a really innovative thing, they invest a lot of money into like experimentation, and then they come up with all these cool ideas, and then they come up with all these cool techniques for doing a thing, and then they ditch it, and they're like, all right, we're going to stick to this.
And you've seen a lot of their services canceled in the last few months. So,
but they do a thing, they do it well, people get excited, and then they stop, and they're like, all right, we'll let other people do the hard work.
Yeah.
We'll let other people, not to say that they're not doing hard work.
Right.
But they're like pioneering, and then they're like, all right, we opened this, now you guys can open it more.
Yeah, you guys do what you want with it. Here
just do it through us.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's kind of what's going to be like. In terms of it being a hugely open and accessible platform, that's exciting. But also, I kind of see it separate to, and maybe this is just me being, I don't know if like biased or like exclusive or whatever, but I still see it being separate from the console market.
Okay.
In the same way that I see like the PC market is like separate to video game consoles, because it's so accessible. In the same way that I think you and I both view like mobile gaming separate from home consoles.
Yeah.
And I know that the lines are getting ever more blurry the further we go into the future, especially with all these services and things. And maybe Google's vision can be part of that blurring of that line. But I still think that line exists, albeit thinner. But I still see that as being separate to the consoles, because it's almost like different environments. Like something like Steam or something like Google Chrome. It's so big and all over the place that it doesn't feel as dedicated. And these dedicated spaces, you see, I think different types of experiences. And maybe I'm just looking at it differently, and like I don't know, looking too much into it. But I don't know. I think it's, me personally. I don't really compare that to. Well, I guess I guess just by saying that they're different, I am comparing it to the console market.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I don't know. I don't put them in the same group.
Yeah.
They're like two different parts of the Venn diagram, and they definitely meet in the middle. And
they're
the
very much
circles, the circles
X
are
factor
moving
here.
closer, and that middle part is getting bigger. But I still see a Venn diagram.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get you. Yeah, man. I mean, like I said, if anyone could do this, if anyone could just dive into something just on a whim and go with it and have the money and resources to it, it'd be Google.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, it wouldn't be unheard of. Like if they were to say, "Oh, we're doing VR too," I would be excited. I wouldn't be super surprised though. I would be like, "Okay, cool. Where are you guys going with it? And how are you guys gonna operate?" Because I mean, like when VR was a big thing when it first launched, with between Oculus, PlayStation, and HTC, it was very much okay. How are you three going to defer? And they all did. I mean, PlayStation was like, "Hey, you just need this accessory. If you have a PlayStation 4, it works. Here's some games. Here's the lineup. Boom, got it good." Oculus was very much, it was PC based, but it was affordable and it was pretty simple to use. And then HTC Vive was like, "Hey, if you want VR and you want high end quality and you want to pay for this great experience, here's our console or our platform or peripheral, whatever you want to call it VR nowadays." But it was like, "Oh, okay," So to see if Google, and then now you have Nintendo in it, and they're on a different kind of like, "Hey, we're there for the little quick things and like the little niche things you like to do and the little fun things you can do," and just kind of like, "Oh, hey, that's pretty cool. I can see that," and go for that market. So it's who's to say Google doesn't go for it in a different way than everyone else,
Well, at the same time, and I think you laid it out perfectly. Every single one of those things, every single one of those products or platforms, there's been this is what this is. This is what it does. Boom.
Mm-hmm.
With Google, it's like, we're doing a thing.
Yeah.
And it's like, what's the thing?
Right.
And then like we get like a little snippet, and then it's like, all right, but what else?
Yeah.
So I feel like that is a sign that it's going to be like a larger thing.
Mm-hmm.
Or by larger thing, I mean like more open and more like platform based than a specific like product based thing. But we'll see. I don't know. But I imagine that what they would do would be similar to like something like Steam, being like a platform and then another way to experience your games. So like through them you can access other third party games and probably some first party things. Just like with Steam they have what the hell? What's the name of the people behind Steam? They do like
Valve.
Thank you, Jesus. They have like Valve makes games and they make like different VR experiences and stuff like that. But their number one thing is they have a platform and then they allow other people to host their things on that platform.
Yeah.
And I imagine that Google would be like, okay, do you want your game to be able to be streamed on our service, or do you want your game to be a part of this experience? And then people will be like, yes, sign me up.
Yeah,
I will pay you money to host my game.
Yeah. Well, Steven, if there's one thing for certain, VR is not just some gimmick. It's not some trend that's just going to go away and go, I don't think it's going to be here, and it's here to stay, and probably be here until, what is it? Virtual, what's the headsets where, like, Sword Art Online and, like, the Matrix and everything where you plug yourself in and you're like,
that's
in
like,
the game.
That's like
that would be when we stop talking about VR.
where you plug in and,
Yeah.
and your, like, consciousness is transferred to another world.
Yeah, God, what is it?
That's actually what we're in right now. We just don't know it. Because once you do that, you plug your brain in, and then it immediately erases your memory and you start a new life in this virtual world. We've gotten to like the third tier of that, and then like where inside of that world we're doing that inside another world and inside another world, and we're like on the precipice of doing it again.
So you literally just merged the Matrix and Inception into one baby, and it freaks me out.
Yeah, Matrix, Inception, and then and Sword Art Online.
There we go.
Swordceptrix. That sounds like a really bad Nintendo 64 puzzle game.
Oh God!
Like that sounds specifically like that.
But I'd play it because of how bad it is.
Yeah, I'd play it. It probably involves like making puddles of water. Wetrix. Did you ever play Wetrix? There was a game called Wetrix, and it was like if Tetris were on a plane and you had to fill like these canyons with water, and it was shitty. I didn't understand it.
Ladies and gentlemen, this has been the third episode of the Awesome Games Podcast. You can tune in. We're gonna go weekly for right now, but
Okay.
depending on how things work out, with finding news and conversation we can build, we may go monthly. We'll see how everything's play out. We'll let you know.
If there's a thing people are talking about, then you can bet your bottom dollar that we'll be talking.
We'll be talking about it too. Don't you worry. But anyway, as always, please like, comment, subscribe. Let us know how we're doing and what we can do better. If there's something we're already doing great, by all means, we'll take the praise, please. Tell your friends. Tell friends, family to check us out. Let us know how we want as many people to let us know how we're doing this, what we can do better. We want this to be a pretty huge thing. That is still the focus. So, other than that, well, thanks for joining.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for watching, listening, whatever you're doing. Also, like what he said, please share and also join the conversation. Let us know what you think the future of VR
use
is
the
going
comments.
to be. Share your favorite VR experiences and your wildest dreams of what VR could be in the future and who you think is going to make that dream a reality.
Mm-hmm. Also, Steven, where can we find you?
Well, I live in a new apartment, so you can find me there. But also, sorry, I'm really excited
That was
about this
really
new
bad.
apartment.
That was god awful.
Listen, I'm really excited about the new apartment, okay?
Uh-huh.
But yeah, you can find me online. I'm on Facebook, the Snapchats and the
Snapchat's okay.
the internets.
The internet.
Snapchat, my username is Midget Guy, MIDGETGUY, and then also on Facebook it's just Stephen Thomas Marr.
Well, we also have the More Than Friends, man. The More Than
Jesus
Friends.
Christ!
How are you gonna sit there?
Listen, okay. We're coming back after a long stretch.
You're right.
I'm thinking about the apartment, but yeah, sure. I
should
can
be, okay.
I can plug my business too. More Than Friends as well. Facebook.com/BeMoreThanFriends. Also, MTFProductions.com is our website. We have an event coming up. If you live in the United States, if you live like in Kentucky, Cincinnati area, northern Kentucky.
Tri-State area.
Yeah, we're going to be having an event on May 18th, and you can find information about that on our Facebook page, on our website. Soon, I need to update it, but I haven't had access to my computer because I've been moving.
Mm-hmm.
But now that I have internet set up, I'll be doing that here in the next day.
And as always, you can find me here on the Awesome Games Podcast. I've also started a blog on WordPress, and I have one on Tumblr.
That's exciting.
Yeah, I
didn't know about this.
Well, I started the WordPress about a week ago. It took a minute. Okay. God, that was time-consuming and tasking and mentally exhausting.
Yeah.
To get that to work and make sure I'm doing it right and not screw myself. So I'm getting that ready. That is up and running now. You'll see some changes how it updates. Rachel, my lovely girlfriend, has been helping me out a lot with design and images and logos and everything like that. So she made a GIF. She made a damn
I
GIF.
heard about that.
That was when she showed me how she did it, I'm like, oh my god. And I'm like, you did not have to do this because this is in
So
a
hold on,
lot
wait
of
a second.
time, but
So-
thank you.
So she did this for you. Could you say that it was a gift? I apologize.
I hate you.
You just lost 7 subscribers.
Yeah, because I've got 7 right now. I'm in the negative.
Whichever ones you had all the. Did you say you're in the negative?
I'm in the
You have negative subscribers.
I'm blocked on
People
multiple
are like
channels.
paying to not. hear
Please
us.
don't put this on my feed. I'm gonna get a notice from YouTube for how offensive we are because of that
Excuse
joke.
me, you need to just don't come back.
You are the worst. Anyway.
No, we're great. This is great.
So, link to the blog will be at the bottom. Right now, I'm slowly trickling things out here. Hopefully, I'll get more consistent with it. That is the plan. I'm also on Tumblr, like I said. I'll have that link at the bottom, too. I also have the link for More Than Friends at the bottom as well. But as always, guys, thank you for listening. We'll see you next week.